Most of the tallest players in the NBA have not had much success. The league is made up of big athletes. However, this characteristic can affect their mobility and thus make their lives on the court difficult. Basketball is known for having players over 2 meters tall, but some who played in the sport's major league ended up going through a lot of this size. Want to know which ones? Keep watching. Does one have to be tall to make it big in the NBA? You don't have to be tall to succeed in the NBA, but it certainly helps. 4 of the first 5 NBA championships were won by George Mikan, the first dominant big man in league history, and centers captured 22 of the NBA's first 28 MVP awards. The reason is simple. Being tall allows players to see over defenses, grab easy rebounds, and swat shots into the 6th row. Although most offenses are now built around guards, towering players are still among the league's brightest stars. As recently as February, 9 of the 27 players named to the NBA All-Star Game were 2.1 meters or taller. Without any further delay, let's meet the 10 tallest players the NBA has ever had. Starting off the list, let's meet Yao Ming, who is 2.29 meters tall. Among the tallest players in NBA history, Yao Ming is the most successful. The Chinese center was the first pick in the 2002 draft, having been selected by the Houston Rockets. Ming only played 8 seasons in the league, as he suffered from injuries. However, in all those 8 years, he made the All-Star Game. In addition, he also entered 5 NBA Ideal teams and was elected to the Basketball Hall of Fame. Next on our list of the tallest NBA players is Shawn Bradley, who is 2.29 meters tall. At 2.29 meters tall, Bradley is one of the tallest players the NBA has ever had. He was the second pick in the 1993 draft. Prior to that, he spent a stint at BYU College and 2 years working as a missionary. In the NBA, he had stints with the Philadelphia 76ers, New Jersey Nets, and Dallas Mavericks. He played over 800 league games and was the leader in blocks in the 96-97 season. Unfortunately, he was in a car accident in March 2021, which left him paraplegic. The next all-time tallest NBA player on our list is Slavko Vrains, who is about 2.30 meters tall. Vrains is one of the tallest players in history, but he played little in the NBA. The Montenegrin center played in just 1 league game in the 03-04 season. At the time, he defended the Portland Trail Blazers. In just 3 minutes on the court, he missed the only shot he tried and made a foul. Slavko made his entire career in Europe. He never had a great score at EuroLeague, the continent's premier competition. In addition, he also never had much space in the national team. Then we have Taco Fall, who is 2.29 meters tall. In the list of the tallest players in history, Taco Fall is the only active in the NBA. The 26-year-old Senegalese was not selected in the 2019 draft, but has since had space in the league. He initially spent 2 seasons with the Boston Celtics on a 2-way contract. In the 2021-22 season, he signed for a 1 year with the Cleveland Cavaliers. However, the Ohio franchise ended up releasing the center, who went to the G League. Our list continues with George Mikan, who is 2.31 meters tall. Mikan is one of the tallest players in NBA history, but he had a quick stint in the league. The Romanian was the 30th pick in the 93 draft, being selected by the Washington Bullets. He spent 4 seasons on the team where he started most of the games he played. Mikan was named the most evolved player in the league in the 95-96 season, but he was injured in 97, missing the entire 97-98 season. When he recovered, he joined the New Jersey Nets, where he played the last 31 games of his NBA career. In March 2007, George played a game for the Maryland Nighthawks. That year, the Nighthawks had formed the tallest lineup in history. George was not the tallest player on the court. His teammate Seung-Min Ming was, standing at 2.36 meters. Who then is Seung-Min Ming? We have talked about Yao Ming. The 2.29 meters tall Chinese center became a global icon and achieved a great career in the NBA. Well, it seems that China truly is the land of giants, as we will now talk about another basketball giant from that country by the name of Sun Ming. Sun is known as one of the tallest players ever to play professional basketball, but Ming wasn't just known for his basketball career, as he even made some TV cameos, most notably in Rush Hour 3. Sun wasn't really interested in basketball at first, but being very tall at 15 years old simply forced him into the sport. But with time, his love for the game grew, and Ming got ambitious towards making the NBA. But unfortunately, it was discovered in his 20s that Sun had a tumor in his brain, causing him to grow so rapidly even in his later years. The condition, called acromegaly, acromegaly caused Son's body to release high levels of growth hormones and produce low levels of testosterone, which would be vital in creating any strength or athleticism to make the NBA. Ming would spend most of his career with the Beijing Ducks, even winning 2 championships alongside Stephon Marbury, but without too much of a role. Son was far from the most talented player, but his size made him a phenomenon to watch. Next tallest in the history of NBA that made the list is Manute Bol, who is 2.31 meters tall. Manute Bol was a very entertaining player to watch in his playing days. In 1985, the 2.31 meter tall Manute Bol was selected by the Washington Bullets midway through the second round of the NBA draft. The Giant spent 10 seasons in the league, where he marked an era. Bol was never a great player. He was a very limited scorer and averaged 2.6 points in his career. However, he was an elite shot blocker and led the league on 2 occasions. He blocked everything and could even extend his range out to the three-point line later on in his career. He actually had a few seasons where he averaged more blocks than points. In his rookie year, he averaged 5 blocks per game. The center had stints with the Washington Bullets, Golden State Warriors, Philadelphia 76ers, and Miami Heat. After leaving the NBA, he played in the minor leagues until retiring in 1998. He passed away in 2010 from complications from Stevens-Johnson syndrome. Next up, Boban Marjanovic, who is about 2.26 meters tall. Most of you watching this video may have heard of Boban Marjanovic, your friendly neighborhood giant. In John Wick 3, he can also be called a Serbian hitman. I will say that he fought John Wick well, but there isn't much you can do against a man who is determined to get revenge for his dog. Boban has been in the NBA for 8 years, but he has never played more than 60 games in a season. He lacks the speed and agility of other centers in today's game, just like most other tall players. Boban is a Dallas Maverick right now, and he plays about 8.2 minutes per game. He gets 4.7 points per game and 3.9 rebounds per game on average. He makes 82% of his free throws, which is an interesting fact about him. Rarely does a player this size do something like that. You could say that Boban's hand on the basketball is like yours on a softball. The next tall guy on our list is Chuck Nevitt, who is about 2.3 meters tall. Chuck Nevitt was in the NBA for 10 years. At 2.26 meters, he was only 216 pounds. Even though Chuck didn't play much, he was on the 1985-86 Lakers team that won the title. He is one of the tallest NBA players to ever win a championship. Nevitt was on successful teams, like the Detroit Pistons led by Chuck Daly and the Bulls led by Michael Jordan, on a 10-day contract. He didn't get a lot of time on the court, but he still won a ring, and no one can take that away from him. Wrapping it up, we have Sim Bhullar, who is also 2.26 meters tall. Sim Bhullar is the first player of Indian descent to ever play in an NBA game. In his first game in the NBA, he was on the court for 16 seconds. In addition to being 2.26 meters, Sim weighed 359 pounds when he played. He only played in 3 games for the Kings in the 2014-2015 season before they let him go. With his height and weight, he just couldn't keep up with the other players in the NBA. He ended up playing abroad for a few years before retiring in 2018. As seen, the tallest players in NBA history have often not had great careers. Few have managed to have real success in the league, going to the All-Star game and winning individual awards. Even so, they managed to be marked in history for other reasons. Now tell me, which of these players is your favorite? Did you know all the names presented here? Let me know your answers in the comment section. That concludes today's video. If you found the video helpful, please do consider giving us a thumbs up, and don't forget to share the video with your friends and family. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.